Hello everyone, welcome once again to PvP casting with Yukiyu, the best and only PvP caster Guild Wars 2 has remaining, and I'm bringing you another match on my main, which is Warrior, the best and the only skill requiring class in the game. And in this match we're actually going to teach you a method to increase your skill with Warrior, and it consists of completely discarding the Berserker Elite specialization in favor of the base class, because in truth the Berserker specialization is a crutch. It's using training wheels, and even though you can get very far with training wheels, sometimes you need to progress beyond that, and the way to achieve this new level of skill and power is by, being a man and choosing the harder path. And through base Warrior, we will choose the higher road. We will actually increase our skill at Warrior significantly. As you can see there, it was in fact the base class that carried that battle in mid and assured my team a victory. And of note, you will see that I am using a hammer in this build because hammers are excellent weapons. I did get the candy cane skin, and it looks pretty cool, and the hammer abilities knock people down, and that looks pretty nice, so that's why we're using the hammer. And we also have a very good elite skill here, which allows us to go Super Saiyan. It temporarily allows us to pretend that we're Berserker warriors. So it's pretty good skill. Every 5 minutes or 2 years, you can do something useful with it. And as you can see, I make a very intelligent strategic play there. I do decide to Greatsword Rush through the hole in the middle, so that I can reach the middle point faster and support my teammates, you guys. It was a very intentional maneuver, as you can see, and it's probably going to save us this point. So yeah, this is very important. You need to pay attention to that kind of thing when you play in Guild Wars 2, because as you know, Guild Wars 2 is an excellent game that encourages its players to perform at their best constantly, and you really need to be on edge and on guard at every moment of every match, you guys. As you can see, I'm just paying attention constantly to everything that's happening around me. I'm looking at every single skill and calling them out for my teammates through Guild Wars 2 built-in voice chat, which it does have, but it's only allowed to players who are in the top 250 of the leaderboard currently. So if you're not, then you have no idea that such a thing exists in Guild Wars 2. But it does. It's there. And Guild Wars 2, one of the most successful esports that has ever been created, is, it can be hard to play, and that's why I'm putting out this series of videos to show you guys what Warrior play looks like at the top end. As you can see there, just all those button presses, all those ones did ensure my team the victory there in the middle point. And another important thing when you are playing Warrior is to just dive in unafraid of anything and just punch people as hard as you can. And if you can see your teammate over there in the distance getting destroyed, be certain to cap objectives while he's getting raped, and as soon as he goes down, promptly abandon him to his fate, as I did there. Okay, that's what you want to do. When your teammate goes down, just abandon his ass. Just ignore him, because in truth, if he goes down, he deserved to die. It was his fault, and he just needed to learn a lesson, and he's learning it right now. As he's sitting in spawn, he's thinking about his mistakes, he's thinking about what he could have done better in life, and he's learning from the experience. And if you had rezzed him or helped him in any way, he would not have learned what he did. So you actually did him a favor, and here we are attempting to escape, but it might actually not happen, since we do have a thief who's very interested in our downfall. It's going to be pretty unfortunate that we will be dead by a Phoenix finisher, the the only finisher in the game that actually looks good. All the others are too flashy or don't show anything. So props to ArenaNet for out of the more than 30 finishers that there are in the game, they did create one that was very good. So I'm pleased to see it in action being used. We are going to focus on the Necromancer because Necromancer is actually the most powerful class in all of Guild Wars 2. And because of that, they are a high priority target. Because if you don't focus them down, then they'll just kill you. And in 1v1s, Necromancers are actually incredibly hard to kill, especially this one who's using a Greatsword. And Greatsword is the best Necromancer weapon currently in the game. So you guys really need to watch out for it. That's why we're focusing him down here. But he's actually lasted a very long time. But here he does get knocked down and eats almost an entire Greatsword too, which does deal a lot of damage. But he's actually staying alive a significant amount of time. But thankfully, we do have an Elementalist who, instead of being in the teamfight healing his teammates, has decided to abandon us to our fates, and is currently capping a far node. So that was a very intelligent, smart play by him, because we don't actually need him to be here in the middle. It would just be a waste of time. And we're doing very well. We're doing extremely well because the enemy team seems unable to kill any of us. As you can see, once again, baseline warrior is actually incredibly strong, even though you can't really touch your berserker counterparts, your berserker friends, because they're all wearing training wheels still. They haven't matured enough to understand the beauty and the strength of baseline warriors. That's how you develop true skill as a warrior, by the way. And always use the candy cane skin on your hammer, and always go hammer because it has a very large AoE stun. And all the other abilities are not particularly good, but it's very important that you guys play in that manner, because that's how you increase your skill. If you handicap yourself, you're actually boosting your teammates' gameplay, because they realize that they need to compensate for you, and that makes them try harder in the match. Especially at the beginning of the match, be sure to say that you're a free-to-play player, that you never bought the expansion, and therefore need them to try extra hard to carry you, because you're definitely not going to be pulling your weight anytime soon. So always keep that in mind. And here we have this Guardian who's just going for the point, seemingly unaware that there's an enemy player next to him who can very easily stop a cap. And what we are going to try to do here is basically just stall for as long as we can, because we have 4 enemy players just sitting here targeting down a warrior like a bunch of skilled players. And we will fall down here and get down by burning. And we're just going to sit here and think for a while, and we're going to meditate here. I do have my warrior character there asking for help, begging someone to put him out of his misery. And it looks like the enemy team has forgotten that my character is down there. They're just spamming buttons there in the middle. Very important tactic there that looks like didn't particularly work in their favor this time. But I'm sure they were all deep down very skilled players. They were very aware of the map and what they were doing. And they just determined that having all players just clusterfucking there in the middle was the proper play to make. Because remember, in Guild Wars 2, you really often, the matchmaking is very good, so you'll often play players that are extremely skilled. And in my case, since I am a legendary player, I faced a cavalcade of extremely skilled players. So it was just a calculated misplay on their part, probably. And yeah, this is a match. Hope you enjoyed this relaxing, skillful game of Warrior.